Hey there, partner. Thanks for stopping by. We'll be starting the show real soon, so go ahead and grab some popcorn, stare up into the stars, and imagine the horrors that exist beyond our comprehension. This is Scare by Scare. Thank you. To the people of Earth, the music has faded in, and you might remember my smooth, sultry voice from every other episode of this podcast. Hi, my name is Jobe, and I'm legally blind.
That's a great movie.
I'm gonna kick it over to my main man, Marshall, over here. Marshall, why don't you tell the folks at home something about yourself?
First off, I want to see Job stand up and actually kick it, goddammit. Every single time you say kick it and you're sitting down, stand up, be a man.
Kick something.
You gotta toss it back to me and then I'll kick it.
Okay, I'm gonna pass it back to you.
Thanks, Marshall. Now, in the recent developments,
I'm gonna grab
I found out that I've got rather severe kidney stones.
This is a good bit.
I'm going to take this time now to
very good
kick
bit.
it to my side hoe, Trace.
Wow, that was good. I'm gonna let's go back there for the time being because I'm gonna be holding the ball for a bit. Hi,
I'm gonna put a pin in it right now.
I'm Trace, and I'm here today. I'm hosting. You're hosting. You're hosting. Marshall, I'm gonna kick it over to you. What did we watch?
Hey y'all, Marshall here. We watched Evil Dead Rise, number 5 in the Evil Dead series. I've seen one Evil Dead movie. I can count on my hand the number of movies in a series that I've seen where I haven't seen the first few. Fast and Furious, I've seen Fast and Furious 8 or 10. And none of the other ones. Evil Dead Rise, haven't seen the other ones. Oh, there's probably a few more around there scattered. Little guys. Damn. Give me some good series.
Toy Story.
No, I've seen all those. I feel like if you haven't
Lion
seen...
King.
I have seen...
Star Trek.
No, I've seen Lion King 1.5 probably more times than, like, Lion King. Does that make sense?
No, that I get that.
Incredibly.
It's opposite with me. I don't think I've seen 1.5 in years.
Nah, Lion King 1.5 is like really good.
Is that on Disney Plus? Can I go watch that?
Yeah, I'm guessing it's a Disney movie.
I'll go watch it. I'll go watch it
I'm
later.
so
Actually,
mother.
I'm feeling a little bit bullied, which is just directly against Disney children movies, so I'm not gonna watch it anymore. Because now
I want to say I've seen Lara Croft Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life.
Cradle.
Wonder what's gonna happen to you.
Yo, Trace.
What's
Enough
up?
about Marshall's movie watching career. Why don't you tell us a little something about Evil Dead Rise?
All right, Abe. Strap on in because Marshall said this needs to be quick, and I'm gonna take as long as I need to. Alrighty, don't look at me. I'm gonna cover your face. That's what we're doing because I'm not getting it a repeat of 3 weeks ago. Alrighty, so hi Freya. Sorry, my dog needs to stiff my pocket. So we started a creepy ass cabin with some people in their mid-teens. We know this drill. It's going on. It's happening. This girl Jess is super possessed and scalps her friend with her bare hands, and then shoves a drone's blade into her face. She pulls her boyfriend in the lake. She rips his head off. She begins to float above the water. Evil Dead Rise comes across. So that's kind of that's the mood we're setting for this film. We cut over to Beth, our main character, pissing in a stall. She's taking a pregnancy test right before the band's gig starts. That way she doesn't have anything distracting her for how it goes. But she's just a technician. She doesn't actually do anything. To all of our technicians out there, I'm sure you do wonderful jobs. Now we see Bridget, who goes home to a very disturbed family. The mother's doing crafts. The little girl cuts the head off of a Barbie. And worst of all, Dan is a DJ. To all our DJs out there, I'm sure you do wonderful jobs. Beth What's up?
My calculus teacher in high school was a DJ in college.
How'd that work for him?
Shout out, Mr. Fredrickson.
Nice.
He was the most favorite teacher in the school because he was cool.
Because he was DJ.
But he was also kind of short.
Oh,
So-
short DJ king. We had a kid in our class whose name was DJ. So that's
I
pretty
bet.
neat.
Class of 6, huh?
Yeah, sure.
Looking
It was like
hillbilly.
two. No, I don't want to count right now. Anyway, Beth shows up. We find out that this is her family. This is her sister's kids. She gets chopped in the face by the mom, Ellie, because she scares her and she goes, Dad has since left the family, and Beth was too busy on the road to show up and help. So now we know that she's the cool sister. As an earthquake occurs, the kids were sent out to get some pizza while they discuss adult things. And this earthquake reveals an old bank vault in this makeshift apartment that has kind of been, turned into an apartment. Danny goes down to explore, and they find a box with some pictures, some vinyl, a wrapped up book inside. Jesus is there too with this collection of crucifix necklaces. Danny unwraps the book to find the Necronomicon, Book of the Dead. And he just thinks, they just think that this thing's real cool. So they take it up on and they make it on back home. They are being loved much more than pizza, as Mom says. They dropped it. They decided it was too gross to pick it up. I didn't see anything wrong with it. You could have eaten the pizza. Dan spills some blood on the book, and the Necronomicon slurps that shit right up. Dan starts reading the book, and Bridget slams it shut because it's way too metal for her. Dan plays the records, also found within the bank vault, and a priest begins to read these passages from the Book of the Dead, causing some wacky shit to happen. The elevator falls while Mom is in it. She survives, but she's getting bullied by a demon before she makes her way back up to the apartment to make some late-night eggs, shells and all. She starts some crazy shit. She starts saying some crazy shit about cutting open her family and climbing inside them so they can be one big happy family. That's some foreshadowing. Mom, Ellie, fucking dies, so they tuck her into bed so she can get a good nap in. And then, suddenly, after some not notable shenanigans, Mom comes back to life and starts Spider-Manning all across the ceiling, screaming and shit. She falls into this tub. Mom goes crazy and starts stabbing and cutting the family. Some more wacky shenanigans happen. She bites a man's eyeball out. She bangs her head on the door. That part was pretty funny. Yeah, Marshall?
Hi.
Hi, okay.
I was waving hi to Jobe.
Oh, I thought you were raising your hand because you had something to say.
No,
Anyway.
why would I do that? We just talk over each other, don't you know?
Maybe you do. She starts chasing some kids around the hall who are friends with Bridget, and she kills all of them too. A big man with a shotgun comes out and shoots her, but he also dies. So everyone's pretty fucked at this point. The dumb little girl, Cassie, opens the door while Bridget is throwing up some maggots in the sink. Luckily, demons are weak against chain locks, so the mom can't get in, but she does call Beth a groupie slut, which is pretty funny. And Beth goes to check on Bridget, who is very hungry. So hungry, in fact, she's eating a wine glass and gives us a great line. I gotta kill the creepy crawlies I got inside my tummy, which I thought the delivery of was pretty funny. The little girl puts her creepy-ass doll, Staphany. It's Staphany because it's a doll's head shoved onto a staff and is supposed to scare things away. But instead, she stabs that shit right through her sister Bridget's head, so she's going to need some therapy. Beth promises Cassie that they're going to be fine, so that's a whole thing. Beth and Dan go to listen to the record while Mom goes to eat a cat in the vents. Bridget comes back to life and stabs Dan in the bicep and throws up some blood. We get some decent enough fight sequences. The other Deadites come back to life as Beth and Cassie get into the elevator and try to leave. A few of the Deadites form into a God, I can never remember how to pronounce this. A Hecaton Kairos.
Of course.
Hecaton Kairos. I'll get into that. To chase after our two survivors. They chase them through the car park until Beth catches them on a wood chipper and just mulches the thing right up. Then, as they're leaving, Jessica from the lake house shows up. And she's leaving the apartment building, talking to her friend, who is also coming, but she's having some second thoughts about it. But she stops to inspect the big bloody mess. Then the evil latches onto her, which takes us back to the beginning of the movie where they're going to the lake house. She's killing her friends at the lake house.
Yeah, that's the movie.
For anyone who is not Greek literate, and again, I don't know how to pronounce this, but I'm going to say it differently this time, Hecatonchirus, that's just a Greek myth of a big group of bodies that have like latched onto each other and are just like one big creature now. It's some demonic force that they kill, and as they kill, they absorb more bodies and get bigger.
It's like, what if a rat king was a person?
Pretty much.
I feel like this was in Persona.
The movie?
Persona.
No, the Hecaton.
No, I
shit.
remember. There's
Yeah.
that scene where Morgana goes, "We gotta watch Evil Dead Rise."
Yeah, it's in Persona 5.
It's pretty common in some literature and stories. It's just too hard to pronounce for
Evil
people
Dead
like me.
Rise?
Yeah, I can never pronounce it. I mean, Ivel Divel Rival.
Evil
Eiffel
Knievel.
Evil
45. Evil
Knievel.
Dabadoo.
Dabado.
So I have to get in front of the allegations that have been levied against me. That if it's not my movie that I
Oh my
suggest,
god,
I'm a hater.
you're really on
and
this.
I hate it. And I didn't hate this movie. I'm gonna put it out there. Not a hater. Me, Marshall, not a hater. Not someone that hates things or hates things because I'm biased. I thought this was it was kind of fun. It was respectful of my time. Let's put it that way. Eh?
Marshall didn't hate my movie. He was the one I was most worried about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You give one movie an 8 out of 10 and suddenly no one cares about your opinion
It's true.
anymore.
Well, it's not that you gave a movie an 8 out of 10. It's that you gave Vivarium an 8 out of 10. It's not a movie. It sucks.
It is real good.
It's literature.
It has all kinds of literary elements. Sorry, Jobe, did you want to say
There's
that?
fucking words in it. Can you imagine?
I would never put a word in my movie.
That's
No.
why you chose No One Will Save You.
That I didn't know it didn't have any words, but it had some words.
Everyone knows that the more words in your movie, the better it is.
Yeah, it's true. But Jobe couldn't find the symbolism behind all the silence, so
Anyway, I liked it.
I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty.
Spoiler
I thought it was
alert.
decent enough.
It was my first Evil Dead movie, so I popped that little cherry. Yes, Joe.
I will say, I don't know if I would consider this one very representative of Evil Dead.
Yeah, it has some.
The new spin on an old classic.
Yeah, it has some key elements. Like I think what humor is present in the film is very Evil Dead humor, or at least what they started leaning into as they were, making it better. And it definitely shares the same gore factor. I don't remember if this was a Sam Raimi one as well, or if it was just the first ones.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So would you consider this? So I don't know about you guys, but when I was a wee lad in middle school,
not.
you go to your local theater company and they can do the junior productions of popular plays where it's like less, it's for kids, younger kids.
Yeah.
Would this be the Evil Dead Junior of the Evil Dead franchise?
I wouldn't. No.
This one is
Not-
way less kid friendly.
Yeah.
Not kid friendly, but just it's less I don't know, complex.
I would say just because of the time, the time difference, because of what technology we have now, this one was way more brutal. I think. Like the other one, well, in some elements, we didn't have a tree scene in this, which was nice.
I'm just saying
There
for,
was
like,
no tree scene.
Thank
this-
God.
the storyline for this one. I don't know about the other ones. I remember listening to y'all talk about them, but it's been more than 2 weeks, and then that stuff gets flushed out the system.
It's been
back when
more than
Marshall
2
was a
weeks
fan.
since you listened to the episode.
Yeah, it definitely has. But for me, the storyline of this movie was kind of simple, not in a bad way, but it is. They find book unleashes demon goes sicko mode, demon loses at the end, kinda. It's not very complex, but I don't know how the other Evil Dead movies did that. They're plot wise.
They're not super complex.
Most of the other movies, at least of the original trilogy, are just Bruce Campbell going, "What are you, some kind of demon?" Ah.
I think this is like a similar concept, but I'm pretty sure it's its own standalone thing because I don't know how the Catholic Church way back in the day would have gotten a hold of the Necronomicon, but
with their fucking hands.
If it is tied into it, the continuity of it is probably a little weird. I didn't see the fourth one, which I think was a remake.
Yes.
And
so
I think
I don't know if it's tied to that one, maybe?
The Evil Dead 2013 was a soft reboot of and continuation of the Evil Dead franchise.
Although they do say that that this one is one of the books of the dead or something to imply that there are more. So maybe this is just a different one, but it's like it looks different.
They never call it the Necronomicon either. They call it something else.
The book.
I can't remember what.
Yeah, it's just the book. They just call it the Book of the Dead, which that's where it gets weird.
No,
because
they're like Horrendous Longan cannot be destroyed.
That's yeah. All of those like translate into the same thing though. That's why it gets weird for me, because I don't know if it's supposed to be the same thing or not, but they don't add a whole lot of time to go, hey, we're associated, and then just like go on with the movie.
Yeah. Sam Raimi did produce it. He didn't direct it. Bruce Campbell also produced it, and he also did a voice in it. He is credited for a voice.
He didn't sound like
he's the one who did they call it the Book of the Dead for a reason.
That's good.
Oh, okay. That I can see sounding a little more like him.
Yeah. Producer, schmoozer.
Yep.
It was, the characters in the story, you definitely think most of them are going to get out. I mean, I did going in, I'm like, no way they're going to kill all these kids off. And then I'm like, damn, they killed like everyone off. What the fuck? Except for a little girl and a pregnant lady, because it's like a Bethesda game. You can't kill a kid, and you can't kill a kid and a lady.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Ooh,
but
what if life gets a new DLC where if the mom dies, but the baby in the tummy doesn't, the baby just takes over?
If you, almost like Dune 2,
Sure.
Return of the Dune.
Return. Okay.
God. The listeners at home, the only movie Marshall now likes.
It's the only movie he's ever
2.
seen. He watched it and forgot every other movie.
Okay, we're recording this on March the 7th.
Dude.
And my wife and I went and saw the movie. What Trace said wasn't funny, but it was Jobe coming in with.
I thought it was funny because I try to do it every time it's mentioned.
Jobe, do the thing again. Do it again. Come on,
What,
come on,
like,
monkey dance. Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
We saw it on the.
Someone asked me what I liked about this movie.
What did you like about this movie?
So much.
Okay. All right. Anyway,
like...
Marshall, what did you like about this movie?
I said earlier. It was respectful of the time it was allotted. It didn't do too much, but it didn't do not enough. It was a movie. It was a movie made for someone who watches movies.
I agree.
No, you don't. You don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. I don't know what I'm.
If movies are made for people who watch movies. Anyway, Jobe, what do you think? See, he's all sad now.
He's like, nah, this didn't have enough analysis, like vivarium.
I didn't see any literary elements.
You literally said there was foreshadowing.
Yeah, I did.
That's not like symbolism.
Did you want me to get into that? Because it's just she says,
no, I'm just saying.
Big happy family. They turn into a big Greek monster. That's it. Also,
I'm just saying, there's
definitely Greek family.
It might be Sumerian. because
It's probably
as the lore would have it, the Necronomicon is written in is it Sumerian?
Sanskrit.
Written in
Sumerian. I'm gonna say Sumerian.
I'm just
Why-
saying
why
there's
not?
definitely tiers to literary
It is
things.
in Sumer.
right? Because like foreshadowing is not the same as like a good metaphor, you know? I'm sorry to say.
He's right. Marshall, go ahead and
It
list off all the
depends.
metaphors in the movie real quick.
It depends. What do you mean
Yeah.
it depends?
I guess we'll just ignore
I
it.
mean,
just
if
say
I
mine.
say if I
Get it.
say
I mean, I
my
wouldn't
hand
listen to
was
me
a
either,
dump
but-
truck feeding hot Cheeto into my mouth,
Don't say that about Val.
I like that's a metaphor, but it's not a very good one.
Yeah, you
But
can
if
also have
I
bad
say-
foreshadowing. I'm just saying the upper limit of metaphors is better than the upper limit of
okay. Let's
foreshadowing.
keep on that though, Job. What if later you say that, right? What if later your aunt turns into a dump truck, like it's transmutated
Why are you
into a
talking
dump
about
truck?
my aunt?
You
I
said
said my
aunt.
hand.
Oh, your hand?
Hand.
Oh, I don't give a shit then.
How the
I'm over
fuck
it now.
would my aunt become a
Wait,
dump
Because
truck?
I misheard you.
What's the character from Adam's Family that's the hand? It's not Cousin It. Cousin It's the hairy one.
It's just
it,
hand.
Uncle Fester?
No,
It's just hand.
Isn't it Thing?
No,
not
it's
just
Thing.
Yeah.
It's Thing, right? Fester's the
He's
bald
the
one.
yeah, like Job.
Yeah.
Got a motherfucking thing on. Job, blink twice.
I've been
and you had a
attacked
heart
by
attack.
so many foreign nations this episode.
No, it's just funny because Madison before we started was editing one of the episodes and she made a point about you being all pouty because someone called you bald. So now I'm just making callbacks that I remember from last week.
Oh, it's a clever callback.
Yeah.
You know,
See you
in
being
some
bald.
circles they would call that bullying.
Yeah, and
Yes, Marshall.
It's not bullying because
See?
we're your friends.
he's got a
Can
point.
we talk about the movie?
I'm
Yeah.
trying to,
Yeah,
but someone brought up Summer.
I
Anyway.
asked you, Job, what you liked about it, and you said there's foreshadowing.
I was saying you were all talking about like I only like movies with literary devices, but like
It's true.
every movie we've watched has had literary devices.
Name 6.
If you say Bavaria,
Evil
we're gonna kill
Dead's
you.
Evil Dead's 1, 2, 3, and 5.
It's not on my list. I started
Winchester.
Lights Out. Nar.
I'm just saying all movies have literary.
Well, which ones are you
devices in
counting?
them.
Because you can't say like onomatopoeia. Because like the only ones that you count onomatopoeia would be like the original Batman's, where they have boom,
Literary
smack.
devices.
Oh my god. Anyway, so as for
Ooh.
this movie,
Mhm.
I just like it. I primarily like it because of the particular vibe it gives. Like, this is a movie that's trying to be spooky, you know, for lack of a better word. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like recently we've been on a kick of like either the movie's boring or like grindhouse style, or it's been a comedy. This is the first movie I feel like we've had in a while that like I feel would be appropriate to watch on Halloween.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think there's like the three kind of stages at the beginning third, before they read the book, they're just like, all right, we're setting up characters, we're getting everyone's, motivations and who they are. The book is found, and then it turns into spooky, something's happening. We're not really sure what. Mom's doing weird shit, but she's dead, blah, blah, blah. And then it turns into like, I don't know how to phrase it, but like action-y horror where it's everyone just starts doing
The climax.
the Evil Dead shit, like
Yeah.
saying weird shit as a zombie demon kind of thing, right? I don't know how to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Shotguns, chainsaws, wood chippers.
True.
It all
It's
happens in
the-
third.
Yeah, I think it's like all the Evil Deads fall into that setup, goofy zombies,
Yeah.
the hero fights back.
There's definitely a little bit though. I don't know about the earlier Evil Deads where it was like there's definitely the spooky factor, and this one was, I feel like, really good at having a lot of good visuals with there. I mean, there's the elevator with the blood like filling up, and then the mom with the old elevator falling down, and just kind of the makeup. her like up on the walls,
Yeah.
sounds, everything was really good with that. I think that's what I think about the movie.
For those of us who have seen the Evil Dead franchises, I'm considering it a parallel, but it's like a little off-white parallel. Jobe, how do you feel about her getting stabbed through the hand instead of just losing a hand altogether like we've seen in the past?
Well, I mean, Ash cut off his hand deliberately to avoid getting the Deadite virus. I don't think they're like trying to draw a parallel to that. I think they just wanted to have a big, shocking, there is no talking this woman down moment.
That's fair.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a lot of callbacks to like the originals, even from what I know from not having seen it. I mean, just the chainsaw is like one of the big ones,
Yeah,
right?
that's a staple.
Right.
I grinned ear to ear.
Right, and then the character. This isn't necessarily like an Evil Dead one, but like when you see it in an Evil Dead movie, you're like, oh yeah, Evil Dead. The character is like fully covered in blood, and it's like all over their face. Like it's in a lot of other movies, right? There's a lot of blood, but like Evil Dead, I feel like has done that in almost all of them.
It's one of the only movies that really stand. Like, yeah, there's a lot of blood in other movies, but that's one that like is almost always like just an obscene amount of blood. Like that, there's no way that could fit in the human body kind of amount of blood.
I mean, not even that for me, just for like the Evil Dead movies, but like just the shots of we're looking up at the character, whoever the protagonist is, and there's just a lot of blood on their face, and it's just like it's kind of dried, but it's all just there. But like I said, I really enjoyed the goofiness kind of the Deadites. Never seen that before. You know, usually horror movies, from what I've seen, especially with y'all on the lovely Scare by Scare podcast, they're either just completely silent for the most part, or they're like trying to be scary. The Deadites were trying to be kind of scary, but also in a fun way, like almost jokingly.
Well, you gotta have fun with your possessions, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the only other person that was like having fun was like fucking Terrifier Art the Clown, but I mean, no one else really. Not even FNAF people were having fun. They're dead.
Well, I mean, how much
They're
more fun can you
children.
get? They're animatronic. They're doing a little dance. They had fun with the sister in that. They were having a little Fort House slumber party.
You know, I think we were too nice to FNAF. The more I think about it,
I can't believe you'd say that about Shaggy.
I can't believe.
Damn, you're right.
And Bridge to Terabithia, man.
I think I was right. I think some people were too nice to Vivarium. Anywho, let's take our patented Capri Sun break. Everyone.
What the hell kind of segue is this?
Everyone raise your cup.
Welcome back. Trace almost died.
I'm still currently dying.
We were all slurping, and then Trace and I made eye contact, and he crumbled. So if you
funny.
ever are playing dodgeball and Trace is the last man on your team,
and I'm drinking the Capri Sun,
just know that he will crumble under the pressure. Your team will lose, and you will have to pay the other team $45,000. Yes, Jobe, for 100 points. What do you want?
I would like to talk about the Deadites a little bit more, if I may.
What is
Show
this movie?
Deadites! Yeah, we can talk about Deadites.
I honestly forgot how much I love the Deadites until we got to this movie again, but they're the most fun to watch because they manage to be entertaining while never losing their intimidation. Especially, I kind of want to argue that this movie manages to strike that balance better than any of the other Evil Deads we've watched. Like, they're saying these lines and they're goofy and they're funny, but it comes less from we're silly clown people to more like we're demons that like we know we're gonna win so much that we are just gonna have some fun with our prey before we cut into you.
Do you think that it's from how it's written more, or do you think it's the modernization of the like technology and stuff used to do the Deadite-ness.
I think it is a little bit like, I think it's just a little bit how the makeup was done and the effects in this movie, but also like huge props to the one actress who played the mom, because she was my favorite.
Alyssa
Like, once the kids
Sutherland.
got once Kiefer Sutherland was possessed, it was great. The children, they were okay, not as good. But like starting with the mom was a good move, as like she just nailed it in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah, from what I had to do a quick Google search so I could talk about this. The Deadites definitely look like, I don't know, like classic, well, not classic, like, oh, that's a Halloween person that you can see on Halloween.
That's a Halloween person.
I don't know, like it doesn't look that great. It probably
New
looked great.
Halloween costume, Halloween person.
Ah, man, the best.
Just Mike Myers.
See,
Oh, you mean like the franchise Halloween, not the
No,
holiday.
I know. I'm trying to
he
say.
he meant
Yeah.
Austin Powers.
Oh, okay, that's fine then.
No, but yeah, the actress, the makeup doesn't look like it's on. I don't know how to say
No,
it.
yeah, I get that. It doesn't look like
It looks like the skin is actually afflicted rather than makeup's being applied.
right.
Yes.
In the past, it does look like there's like almost a prosthesis on their face, just like smushed on there.
And we, Trace and I, can ask our resident makeup expert, Jobe, on the advancements in makeup technology. Jobe, what big advancements has there been since 1942 when Columbus sailed the ocean blue?
Well, I'm going to
Amazing.
just say it's probably just the ability to use CGI to enhance what's there rather than having to rely solely on like practicals for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, definitely there's some stuff that's just like at least for the makeup, I'm assuming putting on a base at the worst case. But even if they did the whole thing with full makeup, it still looks really good. The actress does a great job of, like Joe was saying earlier, being creepy at the same time of also being kind of funny. For me, it really kind of clicked when she was in like the bathtub. Like before, when she was like kind of possessed, it was like, okay, this is a little weird, but like whatever, man. But then she's in the bathtub and she's just like hunched over the edge, and I'm like, all right, I see it, I get it now, I understand. I'm Danny DeVito going, I get it now. That's me. I'm Danny DeVito. Put that in the lore.
I think part of it helps with this being like a family issue kind of thing. Like in the other Evil Deads, like yeah, they're close friends, they're dating and stuff, but this one actually like has like some of the humor part of it comes from a very real place. Like a lot of the funny lines that they say are also could just hit really close to home because we don't know if this is like an issue that has gone on in the family. We know that Ellie doesn't like Beth being a groupie. So, you know, all those comments about her being a groupie, she hates being called that. So it's funny, but also, you know it's getting under her skin a bit. Plus, there's just no shortage of horrible, traumatic things you could say to your children, being possessed or not. So I think the funny little comments they make also do a good job of actually striking some intimidation factor into the rest of the survivors at the time.
Yeah, I think it does a good job of being, horror movies, they typically like to use a smaller cast so it feels more grounded, right? I don't know how to explain, but it feels purposeful, right? But I mean, they only had 4 or 5 people in the family besides the Deadite, and then there's maybe like 9 characters total or something like that. There wasn't a lot of people, and even the side characters, we saw them for like 2 seconds and they fucking died or whatever, right? But I mean, you're with these characters for the most of the movie, right? So you're pretty much rooting for them for the whole thing, right? There's not like a whole plethora of people, For example, right? Like if you watch Pacific Rim and you're like, oh man, look, these kaiju are destroying a building. You're just gonna be like, oh man, that's just a building. But like now that you know the 9 people, and then they just start getting cut down. Did I say something? What are you laughing at there?
No,
What?
no, keep going, keep going.
You're
No,
good.
no. I'm
You said-
apprehensive.
You said Pacific.
No, I didn't.
It wasn't a super pronounced R, but it was just enough that I heard it.
I cannot attest to that. I was laughing more at Marshall looking at obituaries, and like he starts at the picture and sees that they're dead, and like, yeah, who cares? And then he reads the backstory below, and he's like, oh.
It's just that Marshall does it so often where he makes fun of when we fuck up that I hyperfixate on what he's saying. So the second, like, I can be completely zoned out and not know anything he's saying, but the second he fucks up a word, it clicks in my head.
Trey's fucking head snaps over to the other side of the room. I heard him.
Starts crawling on
no.
all fours.
See, that's the thing. I told my where I work, I said I haven't ever fucked up at work. I have to amend that situation because they haven't caught it when I fucked up because it's just me. So they're like, man, Marshall, when I find out when you fuck up, I'm gonna get you. And I'm like, ah,
You can't.
so yeah, that's me. But I've never made a mistake.
It's true.
Anyway, I was saying something about kaiju. I watched Pacific Rim recently. That's a good movie. Watch if you haven't. Or Pacific Rim if you're fucking Trace, I guess.
I just started thinking about it again.
Hey, I really like the scene where the one girl, Cassie, I think it was, is looking
The
through
little
the
girl?
people,
Yeah.
and we just see her possessed mom out in the hallway absolutely demolishing all the neighbors, but like everything she does is just off screen, so you're just left with like to the imagination on what's
Yeah.
going on. But
Like a body
every
gets
time
thrown
she's
into the
like-
wall.
like every time she comes back across, she's like,
It does get me because we've talked about this before. I have a weird humor thing about like something entering the screen and then very quickly exiting the screen. But like
yeah.
if they're doing something, I just think it's funny. So having
Is
those quick moments was just like, oh, that's good.
Is it like what do they call it? You know, like babies where you play peekaboo? They don't
Oh
have
yeah,
object permanence.
object
Yep,
permanence. Trace is still working on that.
I am.
I did yell at my computer. I was watching this on my computer. My wife was sitting
No
right around
way.
here. She was playing Red Dead Redemption 2 on the TV, which is right there. But I did yell at my computer when that girl opened the door. I called her a dumb bimbo, I think. Because it was pretty stupid, honestly.
She grows though. She goes from a Mom, I'm gonna open the door because you said Dad's here. I can't see him. You say he's that way, but I'll open it. And then at the end, she's like, I know you're not my mom anymore.
No, she opened the door because she thought her mom was better. Not because Dad was there.
Well, but that was also part of it. She's like, hey, Dad's right here, and we love each other again.
No.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
yes,
That's
no.
She said
Guys,
specifically. You shut the
mean
fuck up.
specifically?
Does it matter?
Yes.
Does it? No. Should it? Maybe.
Yes.
That's for the viewer to decide.
Yeah.
Should this argument matter?
New
Leave
poll.
a comment down below.
I will say the one thing that this movie is missing for me, and like I said, they're doing a twist on an old classic, and I can appreciate that. But there really isn't any character who fulfills the need for a Ash Williams, Bruce Campbell.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
because he's just got he's got like kind of the sincerity of what's going on, but also he's just kind of a jokey character, and none of the family really has that. Everybody's just always in full panic.
I think they were trying to get whoever the lady's name was. I can't think of her name.
Beth?
Yeah, trying to get her towards there at the end. I feel like you can kind of get, like, she has a chainsaw. I think she had a few quips at the end. But I wonder if this would be like the origin story for an Ash Williams-esque character, and then she's the Ash Williams-esque character. She's got a chainsaw. She does have a
chainsaw now.
She just needs a bitch and ride and one less hand.
Yeah. And the shotgun.
boomstick.
Yeah, boom.
This is my boomstick.
Groovy.
But I mean, she used the shotgun in this movie too, so she's on her way there.
Yeah, she has all the tools that she needs.
I think the thing is she stays pretty level-headed throughout the movie, and I think what's key to a good Ash Williams arc is they also have to lose their minds a little bit.
Yeah.
Basically have to get dragged down to the Deadites level.
To kill a Deadite, you got to think like a Deadite.
Yeah. So start making those silly quips.
Yeah. They call you a groupie slut, you say something right back at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know, man. I enjoyed this movie.
No.
Yeah.
I can't enjoy the movie.
Yes.
Like I said, I kind of enjoyed the movie. Some points I'm like, all right, I could deal enough of these kids. Let's get the show on the road, because it was like, if you take out the beginning sequence that was 2 minutes long or whatever, I'm looking at this. I'm like, man, I'm in this movie 20 minutes deep, and we're talking about babies or something like that, layoffs or shit like that. I'm like, where the fuck is? I'm like, they're getting a pizza. There's an earthquake. Fuck.
Oh, he's getting all worked up.
Was the follow up? No, but you don't understand what I'm saying. Don't just nod. Just nod. Don't say that. I got another point I want to make. So they're nodding. Do you think the earthquake was caused by the Necronomicon and it was breaking the seal? Okay, cool. Thanks for another nod. This time they're actually nodding. They were nodding last time too, but it sounded like they did it based on how I said it. But they nodded both times.
It's a weird concept because
what, nodding?
Yeah. The Nodronomicon.
We've got a nodder.
Because most of the time through these films, we've mainly seen all this weird shit and magical shit happening because of the Necronomicon or the Book of the Dead or whatever they called it in this. But it does seem like it's just kind of a book that wants to be found. So there is that little bit of magic that's always there. It's aha, this kid's stupid enough that they'll open me.
It's like the Ring of Power.
Yeah.
Yes, Marshall.
Hey, guys. I don't know much about vinyls or records.
Okay.
Aren't you not supposed to store them stacked on top of each other?
Probably not. I imagine they put too much weight on it and crack them.
Let's say they've been stored on top of each other for a while. Are they going to come out good?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. It depends how much. It depends how much weight's on it.
I mean, the top one might be fine.
Yeah, if there's no weight on it, it's probably okay. If it just sat there on a shelf for a century, I'm sure it'd be as long as it's covered.
The only thing that you have to worry about is you're flattening the grooves in the vinyl.
The grooviness.
Groovy.
Yes.
Groovy. Yeah. No, I'm just wondering because for some reason there's that bit where they put the vinyl on and then they start playing it with their finger, and I'm
I feel now I know what your note means.
I'm I don't think that would. I didn't have any notes.
You didn't know if she'd actually be able to.
I mean, she might. I don't know. I don't know vinyls, but
I've never tried it personally.
I feel like it'd fuck up the record.
Also, this movie shamelessly rips off Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, I did. I forgot about that part, and I didn't know what you meant at first. And I was trying to think of all the things.
Where Stitch opens his mouth?
Yeah, and he starts. He plays Elvis out of his mouth.
It would be really funny if she's playing that record and she's hearing this priest talk about you have to run. There's only one option, run, and she comes in.
Yeah, ain't nothing but hell no.
Man, Lilo and Stitch, that's a banger.
We should watch that next.
Talking about Lilo and Stitch. We're talking
you
about
brought up Lilo and Stitch.
You did bring up
anyway.
Jobe
we're off Lilo and
Stitch. Did bring up Lilo and Stitch.
The Evil Dead Rise. The Evil Dead were arisen. I don't know why it's called Evil Dead Rise. Is it just because they get out? They're uncontained.
Well,
I think that is the idea. They are rising up now. There's probably
Rise of the Planet of
the Apes. Yeah.
Oh, fuck, that's badass.
Actually, wait. They might
correlated.
be setting up for a banger
They-
sequel.
Yeah.
Evil Dead
Yeah, hold
Rise
on.
2, Rise
Let
of
me
the
get
Apes.
let me get my people on this.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
this movie just came out, so like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, last year.
Definitely just came out. Uh
Yeah. So-
Yeah. Bruce Campbell stated that he and Sam and Ivan Raimi were planning a possibility for future films in the franchise every 2 or 3 years.
That could be
there
cool.
if this was a success.
So that's pretty neat.
Was it a success? I mean, it was only a $15 million budget, made 147. If you're looking at this from a money standpoint, it made money. And is that really all we need in life?
Yeah.
Money.
we'll
The
ever
first movie
see.
wasn't great, and they got better. So maybe
That's true.
maybe they'll get on
But
it.
I mean, like, honestly, Evil Dead 2 is kind of just a remake of Evil Dead
Yeah.
1.
I mean,
It-
did Sam Raimi just like do Evil Dead 1? Just like fuck it, we're doing this. We do it live.
I mean,
Like, did he have like a huge production or anything like that?
I don't think
No,
they had
Evil
a huge
Dead
thing set in
1
mind.
was like one step above student film.
Yeah, like it was.
Oh, that's what it
it's
looks like?
Good. It's funny. It's not.
Nah, Evil Dead 1 is kind of bad.
Well, yeah, but it's bad. It's bad where it can be funny to watch. Like there's bad, and God no, I would never watch that, like Vivarium. But then there's like good. There's bad. Like okay, this is funny enough.
I don't know. I think anyone who wants to watch Evil Dead is not missing out if they skip the first.
Well, no, because if you just watch Evil Dead 2, it gives you what happens in the first movie in the first like 5 minutes, and then goes on and goes, all right, that happened, but we're doing it differently.
It's like what was it like last time on Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, and then it goes, all right, now back to the beginning again with our own deal. We still have a tree, but we're not doing that thing anymore.
Last
Well,
time on
stop
Evil
asking.
Dead, Krillin is dead.
Ow!
Yamcha's on the ground like
Yamcha.
this.
Looks nothing like him.
So
What's your favorite Dragon Ball Z character?
overall, I think this movie is a worthy successor
Gohan.
to the Evil Dead
Team,
name,
go on.
and I think
It
we've
has to
kind
be
of,
Krillin, right?
I think we've kind of established that there is potential here for maybe
Yeah.
more. Maybe Evil Dead is not done with us, mere mortals.
I'm fine with that because I feel like we really missed out on Ash versus the Evil Dead the series. I thought that was a decent series, and I was a little upset when it got tanked. So I'm happy to see this kind of thing continue, and them still having like the first people who started it still invested and integrated into it, so we
I
can
know.
stay close to the source material.
Sam and Ivan Raimi.
Yeah,
They got everyone. Everyone's
they
back.
got Mr. Spider-Man and Ivan.
Ivan the Terrible.
Ivan these nuts.
Ivan the Impaler.
So yeah, 7 out of 10.
All right, Marshall time.
Go
I didn't
for
hate
it.
this movie. I give it a 6.7.
Wow.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6.74. Final answer.
Oh, that's cool. I like it. It's got some of the humorous elements that the originals had, and it has a little bit of the gore in there as well. We don't get a whole lot of like new sets or new locations to be at, which the first couple didn't have any either, so it's not that weird to see that happen. But it is just kind of this happens in the apartment, this happens in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. So it's good though. I like it. I also gave it a 7 out of 10.
So 6.74. What a banger. Perfectly above average episode movie.
Weird that
We
it's
liked-
not as good as Vivarium, but
I am
It's
talking.
there.
To our
And?
listeners, follow us on TikTok.
Where should they follow us?
Instagram, YouTube. You can catch us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Good
Spotify, Apple
These
Podcasts, podcasts. My nuts.
No.
We post an episode every Thursday at random times. We're kind of quirky like that. All right, Joe, what movie are we watching next week?
Hey,
It's Trevor's.
make sure to. All right, make sure to tune in next week when we talk about Tremors, starring Kevin Bacon and other
Finn
people.
Carter.
All right, and I got to finish the rest of the outro because I
Yeah.
guess, fucking white
Yeah,
people.
finish.
Yeah. White people suck.
If you have a movie recommendation, leave a comment or an email us at scarebyscare@gmail.com. We do
Do
not take recommendations by word of mouth. So those people that are out there telling us to watch a movie, you gotta put it in the comments. We forget
But
things.
also keep in mind, Marshall will not like it.
It's not his movie. He didn't suggest it. He
Yeah.
hates it.
Best you can hope for is okay.
If you're so brave, if you out there are thinking you're brave, tell us what
You're
you think
not.
is a good movie. And then say, hey, you watch this, Marshall. You'll be impressed. If I'm impressed by the movie you suggest, I'll shout you out on camera.
The only people
Wow,
who
a shout out from Marshall.
the only people who
Listen.
suggest us movies by word of mouth are either A, not going to see this for like 2 or 3 months, or just don't watch.
Who suggests? I mean, someone suggested the movie Splice, right? That movie sucked.
No, he never suggested it.
That's true.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true. That's true. He went, "Hey, this movie's kind of messed up," and Jobe went, "Let's watch it."
Yeah. Okay.
I had a whole
yeah.
discussion with him about it.
Yeah, no, I know.
He wanted to beat his son.
Is that it? Is that all we got?
Is it?
Why are we still recording? Shut.
I don't know. I thought we were doing something. We do our quirky
The
little
music-
outro.
music.
Off.
Music's fading in. Music's fading in.
Music's here, man.
Fading.